witnesses to such a serious crime as this, I really must insist that I speak to you separately rather than at the same time.
Why?
Because that's just the way it is.
I'm sorry, but has your body been taken over by a demon that sounds exactly like my mother? What do you mean just the way it is?
This is a criminal investigation. There are rules.
Okay. So is either of us committed or suspected of committing a crime then?
No.
Well then we'll do this together. You know why?
No.
Because that's just the way it is.
Christ, if there's ever been a group of witnesses more difficult than this, I don't know where that could have been.
What?
I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did. I heard you muttering.
It was nothing. Fine. You win. We can do this together.
You know, Jules is just worried that I'll say something stupid if he isn't here.
Quiet down, darling.
See?
For God's sake, don't you ever to stop babbling? I said you win. We can do this together. But that's not how it's supposed to work.
Do you have to be so angry?
I'm not angry.
Okay.
Right?
I need your real names.
These are our real names.
They're nicknames, surely.
Can you please focus on the interview? It doesn't really matter, does it? I need to go to the toilet.
Sure. Because what's your name is a very tricky question.
Stop muttering and ask your questions.
Right. I'm just a police officer, so obviously it's perfectly reasonable for you to decide what happens in here.
What?
Nothing. I just want the two of you to confirm that you were inside the apartment for the entirety of the hostage situation. Were you?
I'm not sure about a hostage situation. That just sounds very harsh.
Come on now, pull yourself together, bro. What were we if we weren't hostages? Accidentally threatened by a pistol?
We were more just an unfortunate consequence of some bad decisions.
Yeah, because someone tripped and happened to slip into a ski mask.
Can we just focus on my question?
Which one?
Were you inside the apartment the whole time?
Jules was in the hobby room for quite a long time.
It's not a hobby room.
Closet then. Stop being picky.
You very well know what it's called, okay?
Okay, so you were in the closet. How long for? And how long before you came out of the closet?
What did you just say?
No, that's not what I mean.
Right. What did you mean then?
Nothing. I didn't mean it in any way except in relation to the fact that you were physically inside, a closet.
We were in the apartment the whole time.
Why do you sound so angry?
It must be the hunger, bro. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it really isn't. But I certainly didn't actually say that, in which case it doesn't count.
Look, I appreciate that the two of you have had a very difficult day. But I'm just trying to understand where everyone was at various times. Like when the pizza was delivered.
Why is that important?
Because that's the last time we know for sure that the perpetrator was inside the apartment.
I was sitting on the chaise lounge when we had the pizza.
Yes.
Chaise lounge.
Okay. What's that?
That bit at the end of the sofa. Just like a divan.
No, it's nothing like a divan. How many times do I have to tell you that it's not a divan? Do you know how you can tell a chaise lounge isn't a divan? Because then it would be a divan.
God bless me. Are we going to have the same argument now as when I didn't know what a commode was? Huh? Do you know what a commode is?
It's a lizard, isn't it?
See, I told you.
It's not a lizard.
It's that cabinet in the bathroom under the wash basin apparently.
I had no idea.
No normal person knows that, darling.
Did you both grow up in caves? Seriously. A commode is a kind of a cousin to a vanity. You know what one of those is, presumably?
Yes, I know what a vanity is.
How do you know that and still you can call a wardrobe a walk-in closet?
Because, Jules, a wardrobe is a word used by someone who blogs about juicing and hasn't cooked a solid turd in 3 years. Whereas a vanity is a proper piece of furniture.
See what I have to put up with? He was obsessed with his vanity and commodes for 3 months last year because he wanted to be a cabinet maker. Just before he wanted to be a yoga instructor. And just after he wanted to be a hedge fund manager.
You always have to exaggerate everything. I was never going to be a hedge fund manager.
What were you going to be
A
then?
day trader.
What's the difference?
I didn't get around to learn that. That was around the same time I started to get interested in cheese.
Okay, can you please just get back to my question?
Hey, you seem stressed. You shouldn't bite your tongue like that.
I'd be less stressed if you just answered my question.
We ate the pizza sitting on the sofa. That's the answer to your question.
Okay, thank you. And who was in the apartment at that time? In the apartment. Who all were in the apartment at that time?
Yeah, it was Ru and I. Then there was Zara. Then there was Estelle. There was Anna, Lena, Roger. Yeah, and the bank robber.
And what about the estate agent?
Yeah, of course.
Where was the estate agent?
Just then.
Yes.
Am I your GPS or something? Huh?
I just want you to verify that everyone was sitting around the table eating pizza. That's it.
I suppose so.
You're supposed to.
What do you want me to do, huh? There was a person standing with the gun. Do you know the situation? I didn't know what to do. I had to do so much of thinking. I'm not some school teacher counting knapsacks on a school bus.
Is this a sweet?
It's an eraser.
Stop eating everything now.
I was only asking.
You know what? In every apartment we go to, he checks the fridge. Do you think it's a normal behavior or an acceptable behavior?
I really don't care.
They want you to look inside the fridge. That's all part of the estate agent's so-called home styling. And everyone knows that. Once I found tacos. You know, they still rank in the top 3 tacos that I've ever eaten.
You had those tacos?
Yeah, they want you to.
You ate food you found in some stranger's fridge.
What's wrong with that? I think it was chicken. Felt like chicken. You know, everything tastes like chicken once it's been in the fridge for a while. Except turtle. Did I tell you about the time that I ate turtle?
No, stop talking now. I'm going to throw up, seriously.
What do you mean by stop talking? You were the one who wanted to know everything about each other.
Fine, now I have decided that we know enough about each other. So stop talking.
Do you think it's weird to eat tacos at a viewing?
I'd appreciate if you just kept me out of this, please.
She thinks it's weird.
She didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? Jules hides his sweets in chocolate. What sort of an adult does that?
I hide expensive chocolates. Sure, because I'm married to a wormhole here.
He's lying. He is lying. One time I discovered that he bought sugar-free chocolate. Ma'am, sugar-free chocolate. And he tried to hide that as well. As if I wouldn't even be able to resist myself from eating sugar-free chocolate. Like some bloody psychopath.
Then you ate it.
Because I wanted to teach you a lesson, not because I enjoyed it.
Fine. I'm ready to answer your questions now.
Wow. Lucky me.
Do you want to ask your questions or not?
Okay. When the perpetrator let you go and you left the apartment, do you remember who went downstairs with you?
All of us, obviously.
Yes, but can you list them down in the order that they went downstairs?
Sure. Ro and I, then there was Anna, there was Lena, there was Zara, there was Estelle. Okay. Yeah, Roger.
And what about the estate agent?
Of course the estate
The
agent.
estate agent must have been there as well, no?
Are we nearly done here?
I'm really hungry.
Did you just have pizza?
But that was a long time back when I had pizza and you were in the
You
hobby
ate
room.
the pizza.
Of course
Oh
I-
yes, of course I was in the hobby room and
But I
you
was
ate the pizza.
hungry.
You hopped on the pizza.
But I had to.
We are done
You also
with
spoke
this.
about tacos right now and
But what about the turtle you ate?
but that was a long time back.
You are disgusting, bro. You are
I'm not
disgusting.
I'm just hungry.
It's not
Then you are
acceptable.
hungry,
It's not.
okay.
I cannot
It's
live
fine.
with that. No, I cannot.